Good afternoon and welcome to today's press conference. The Bulldogs are coming off a come-from-behind 31-27 victory at ETSU last weekend. They will have their off weekend. They're bye this week. Here to talk about the program is head coach Brent Thompson.
Thank you, John. Thank you guys for coming out. Number one is despite not playing really well for about 3 quarters, we were able to hold the game close enough and squeak out a win at the end. I thought we made enough plays in the fourth quarter, held it together enough in the first 3 quarters to be able to finally pull the game out at the end of the day, which was important for us. It was a tough road win. We knew going into the game that was a much better team than their record showed. As soon as they find a way to win some football games at the end of the game, they're going to be a very, very good team in this conference once again, like they were last year. They've got some good backs. Their defense was very, very stout. I thought they played fairly fundamental. It's the first time I've really seen somebody run downhill on our defense and do a good job of it. A little bit disappointing on our end. I don't think we tackled well. We didn't defend the run particularly well all day long. We let up a couple balls over the middle, which was a little bit discouraging. But at the end of the day, I think we made the tackles that counted at the end of the day. Offensively, it took us a few drives to get things going there. The first drive was a good one, and then after that, we sputtered around a little bit. Unfortunately, had to kick a field goal in the red zone in the first half to be able to keep it close. Second half, we put together a few good drives in there and a couple big plays, but other than that, they did a really, really good job of defending us, and not surprising at all. They've got a good scheme. They've got good personnel. They know what they're doing, and every single time that we play them, it's a challenge. It's a team very similar to us, is where they want to be a ball-controlled team for the first time, I believe, all year. We lost the time of possession, and they like to run the football as we do as well. So they just do it a different way. Those teams can be very, very challenging for us. I believe I looked up in the first quarter, it was about a possession and a half before we were able to really get things going in the second half to be able to try to create a little bit more momentum. So happy we got the win. I thought it was a big win for us, just being able to get a stop at the end of the game. Something that really didn't go our way the first 2 or 3 games of the year, but finally got a win at the end of the year, at the end of the game, which was nice. So appreciate that. Looking forward to this bye week. Number one, getting back healthy. Number 2, since it is a late bye week, we want to work our 2s and 3s a lot more than we would in earlier middle bye week, and get ready for what's going to be a very good Chattanooga game. So we've got to leave on an extra day just to travel out there. So we'll be up against the clock next week. We'll try to get out ahead of the clock this week. So questions?
Coach, the celebrating at the end of the game, that's something you guys do all the time. Is that the first time they lifted you up that high?
Yeah, well, in 2016, I was a much better crowd surfer. I don't know if they were better or I was better. But, yeah, there was a little bit more of a surprise this go-around. I think probably because they knew that they didn't play their best and still got the win out of it. I was more surprised that they did it. First time we've done that probably since about 2016. I got to get better at it. Hopefully here to come we've got a lot more to celebrate. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I don't usually get that high off the ground at times, so I am a little bit worried there. That was a hard surface to fall on, but I was in good hands, so hopefully they don't drop me at all, and they understand I can be important to this team at times.
Coach, starting the game off with running the wishbone, how early did you decide that was what you were going to do?
It's funny you bring that up. Yeah, we did start the game. It was something that I had thought about very quickly after Coach Taff had passed away. I didn't tell anybody, and it was something that was just going to be really I really didn't even care if anybody picked up on it, and a couple of people did pick up on it. It was done on purpose, and it was a little bit of a tip of the cap to Coach Taff for everything that he has done for me without even really knowing it. So I really wanted to pay some sort of a tribute to him, and that was the best I could come up with. But believe it or not, going into that, we had some time to kill into the hotel. I wanted to see exactly what they were doing out of the wishbone, so I pulled up the South Carolina game from that year that they had gone up there and beat them, and I got a little bit of inspiration out of that, of what my first play call really was going to be out of it. I knew it was going to be in the wishbone, but we've got a lot of options out of it, so it was nice. It was the best tribute that I could possibly give to a guy that's given a lot to me.
Coach, we talked a lot about just trying to survive and get to this bye week. Now that it's finally here, are you happy that it fell on this particular week, considering the football you've been playing and the chips have fallen where they have?
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult. That's a great point. Is you have good momentum going right now. You don't want to lose that momentum. However, we would like to get guys like Phil. Phil Davis didn't play last week. We would like to get him back. We could have used him because it was a downhill run game for Chattanooga, and Phil's good in those situations. We would like to get Ryan McCarthy back. That'll be a good one to be able to get back as well, and give us a little bit more time to heal some of the guys that may have just gotten nicks or bruised in this past game. So I think it is a good time, even though it is a late bye week, and I don't really like these late bye weeks. However, when you do have an opportunity to make a push at the end, we hope that we can continue the momentum going all the way through to Chattanooga.
Those guys that are hurt, is it just rest injuries? They just need to rest it up?
I believe so. I think Phil's got a chance to come back and actually practice next week. I don't think he'll practice this week. And then Ryan's a kind of a day-to-day kind of a ding. I think he'll probably start to work his way back in this week.
What about Marquise?
Marquise will probably be a little bit more of an extended. It could go through the end of the year. It's kind of going to be a week-to-week kind of a thing for us. Unfortunately, he did have a bad injury that's going to require more than just a 2 or 3 week set layoff.
How specific? Upper body,
Lower body.
So he could be out for the year.
Could be out for the year. Yep.
Did your heart just skip a beat in that goal line stand there at ETSU? And how was that kind of similar deja vu maybe to the CSU goal line stand?
Yeah, that was so. There was a couple things there. Is they had plenty of time, and I was looking to kill the clock, and they were looking to obviously get the ball in the end zone. So I was looking at some point we may have to call a timeout to save us some clock, but they kept on throwing the football, which was very good for us, being that if they're going to take their chances, at least the clock is stopping right there. So I thought at least on one of those I was going to have to call a timeout. We had 3 of them there, so I was waiting to be able to call one of them. But when they threw 4 straight incomplete balls, that was certainly helpful for us. It did skip a beat a little bit. You can't see there's a crown on that field, and being 5'3" doesn't help. But you got a crown on the field, and you can't see far across the field. I didn't know how close it was. I thought he was right around the pylon. Something similar happened to us in the CSU playoff game many years ago, and Eakins ran the same kind of route, and he just fell just out of the end zone with no time left on the clock. So I know how those things can go. If that ball just pulls you back, it's a very tough ball to defend. But if you're not deep enough in the end zone in that, it could be very, very challenging to get that touchdown, get that score. Number one thing on that play was Phil Barrett actually fell down and recovered just in time to give Chris Beverly the help right there. But Beverly was in on the tackle, which playing from the safety spot was a great heads-up and headsy play to be able to hold him out of the end zone and secure the win for us. And even still at that point, we were trying to figure out a way to kill that clock off without, with being in the shadow of your own goal line right there.
Just to clarify, McKim's catch in the end zone or non-catch, it was reviewed.
They did say it was reviewed, and I was waiting for it to be reviewed. And as the clock was ticking down, I thought I was going to have to call a timeout. I wasn't sure if they were reviewing it or not. They said they had reviewed it. I don't know that there was a good enough angle to be able to see down in that far end of the end zone. So it was reviewed. I don't know if they could see it, so they just upheld whatever was called on the field right there. Whatever I could see on the field, it looked like it was probably a decent call. I thought it could have gone either way, and if he had called it one way, it probably was that.
Brenton, have you looked ahead at scenarios of what needs to happen for your guys?
No, I have not. Not something I'm interested in looking at right now. Is really the only thing I'm looking at right now is Chattanooga and watching those guys play. All right, thank you.
All right, and up next, head coach Dover Baucom here to just give a couple little statement about his team with the season opening at noon on Saturday against UNC Asheville.
Yeah, thank y'all for coming and covering us. Congratulations to Brent and his guys. I hope our guys will start playing like he's got his guys playing. But we open up Saturday at noon, kind of a different time start for us, but volleyball comes in that afternoon, so we're going at noon against UNC Asheville. UNC Asheville is under a second-year coach who's brought in a transfer from NC State and also one from Indiana Fort Wayne, so it'll be a challenge right off the bat. And then on Tuesday night, we'll head down to Athens, Georgia, and we'll play the Georgia Bulldogs on Tuesday. So we start with the Asheville Bulldogs on Saturday, Georgia Bulldogs on Tuesday, and then come back and play Campbell on the 16th, the next Saturday. It'll be a 1 o'clock game, Campbell at home. So today will be our 26th practice. I think we've had 25 really good practices. Only one time of all 25 I really had to have an attitude adjustment and really get them back grounded. I thought our two scrimmages, the guys played really, really well, played together, even though we're very young, and also a lot of newcomers. So been very, very pleased with that. And the guys are ready to play. They're tired of playing against each other, and look forward to playing on Saturday.
What's your starting lineup, Frank?
Ooh, I don't know. We were just talking about that. It changes day to day. We'll start a freshman for sure. Right now, we're not sure which one, but Fletcher Abeys played really well, as has Jackson Gammons. So one of those guys will play two guard for us. Alex Reed's really played good. He'll probably start at the 4. Hayden Brown will definitely be our 5-man. He's had a terrific summer and 25 practices. He's been great. And then Tyson Baptiste, our point guard, he'll be our point guard. 3-man will be Caden Rice, probably, from the way it looks right now. But you'll notice that by the first media, we'll have new people in. We'll probably go 9 or 10 deep, I think. So a lot of new faces. Rudy Fitzgibbons is backup point guard. He'll play some with Tyson. He's a good enough shooter. One's like a 6'4" guy and one's like a 5'10" guy, and they play at different paces. So, but we will play them some together.
How do you think the new three-point line will affect your guys and, and the teams you play?
Yeah, I kind of like it because it gives you more space for what we try to do. We were shooting back there pretty much anyway. We caught rhythm and range, so if you're in rhythm and range, it might change ball screen coverages a little bit. I don't know how many guys will shoot up, jump up and shoot behind the ball screens now because it is a little bit farther. It was an adjustment for my freshmen when they came in the summertime because it was literally 2 feet, 2 inches farther than they've been shooting. But they've made that adjustment, and they've been really good since the initial week of practice in the summer. They've made an adjustment. They get on the gun and shoot 1,000 shots a week, so they're pretty adapted to it now.
What about your zone? Does it spread it out too far? Or what do you have to do on defense?
Yeah, you can get extended a little bit. We're still going to just play principles and make people shoot over hands. Main thing is contesting shots, whether we're in zone or man, is to make people shoot over people, make people finish over people, play without fouling. Those are big concepts we've tried to work on this all since the end of last year, actually. Let the people get to the foul line less and make them shoot over a hand.
After losing so many guys last year, you've already talked about how young they are. How have they come together? What's the chemistry like early?
Yeah, the chemistry's been great. This is probably the closest knit team we've had since we've been here, which is kind of amazing. But the 5 freshmen, they have just come in, and they all have great personalities. They're all very smart. They all compete, which I think's really good for freshmen. And our 2 newcomers that have been in college basketball, they say it's the closest team they played on, and they played on 3 different teams between them. So I was proud of that. But I think it's due to our guys. It's organic. It's because they like competing against each other. And had a high school coach in practice the other day, and he said, your kids try to kill each other on the court. He said, but when y'all went to shooting free throws, they were buddy-buddy. I said, well, that's kind of – I just hope they're ready to kill somebody on Saturday, somebody that's not in a Citadel practice gear shirt. So, but no, to answer your question, they've been extremely close, and as a coach, that's kind of what you want.
How's Eddie doing? Is he getting into shape to play your style?
Yeah, he lost 9 pounds a week ago. So he's really worked hard on his diet. We keep his cardio up pretty well. But his diet, he eats a lot more salads than the other guys, which has been great for him. It's changed him. It's made him much more versatile. He's not trying to catch his breath. He can worry about what he's doing. So a year off and as injury prone as he was, getting back in shape is a task. It's been his major focus. So if he stays healthy, he'll help us a lot, I think.
What do you hope to accomplish in these first 3 games or so against Nashville, Georgia, Campbell, etc.?
Well, playing together and keep getting better. Just be better. Hopefully you play well on Saturday and try to be a little bit better on Tuesday. Now, you're going into a SEC arena, so it'll be a little bit different environment and a little different athlete. But I think Asheville and Campbell both give us good tests. They're a very similar league in the Big South, and both of those games will, see how well we play together, see how well we carry out the game plan, and just kind of move on from there.
With Hayden at the 5, he's even smaller than Zane. What does that mean for your guys?
Yeah, I think that's an advantage for us. Actually, he's more mobile than Zane, and ironically, his best 2 games were probably against Texas and Virginia Tech. And he scored 22 against Virginia Tech as a freshman, I think 14 last year against Texas, against Jackson Hayes, who was a lottery pick. But the mismatch in size makes him more versatile. They got to come. We can figure out how to guard them down low. They have to figure out how to guard us out and then match his quickness. So I think we'll see some different lineup changes that people normally wouldn't play because he's at the 5. And he's really accepted it at first. You see it here at 5, man, you're going to be plodding down the court, but that's certainly not what he does. And he makes us more dimensional, more 5 out than per se, spread people out more than back to the basket, fight around the post. All right, thank y'all a lot.
Thanks, Coach.
See you Saturday.